way, way over the top. All right, back to Craig. I left the previous segment, everybody, because Craig made a comment. We were talking about this performance review and going through it, and how some of these brokers make, or I guess that's what you call them, brokers. They get in a comfort zone, just like everybody else gets in a comfort zone in your fitness, in your diet, in your driving routines, whatever. Everybody gets in a comfort zone. That's a habit. That's the way the brain works. That doesn't really serve us that well when it comes to our financial fitness. You need somebody like, and this is an absolute fact, you need somebody who's a broad spectrum, like a Decidere with Craig Stiles. Craig, there you go. How's that? Does that tee that one up for you? And talking about.
You actually brought it up to even another point, because I was kind of looking at the comfort zone from the client's perspective, but from the advisor perspective, with the products that they use and they recommend, they become very familiar with certain insurance companies, how the administration and everything for the companies work, where from one financial institution to another, even though they're all insurance companies, their administrative responsibilities may look differently. They may interpret regulation BI or regulation best interest requirements a little bit differently, whatever that structure might be. And so you'll have some that might be a little more strict, some that might be a little looser in how they administer and service products or accounts or advisors in many ways. But then when you're sitting there trying to prove that what you're doing is in the best interest of the client, and everything comes right back down to the product that is offered. And is that product that is being offered meeting the needs of the clients? And then if it is,
But
how so?
educating. Today's episode, everybody, was a performance review and financial fitness all blended together, and Craig and homeschooling and all kinds of stuff, just like we always do. So what would be your takeaway now with the performance review? I'm looking forward to doing the performance review, where before I told Karen, I told Sandy, I said, I don't really want to do this because, I got stuff to do. And well, we got to do it. Okay. But now I'm looking forward to it, because it's like, okay, cool. I totally, I know you would close with this, and I'll give you my closing after Craig's done. I trust Craig.
Well, as we're talking from that aspect, educate, evaluate, and implement, right? Basically go through the process. What we're trying to is educate our clients on what we're doing. Then we evaluate the products that they have access to and compare that with other areas. And then we implement. And that implementation could be, okay, the status quo looks good. Let's continue on with the strategies that we're doing right now. They're meeting the objectives. Or the product that you're currently in, here's where it ranks relative to its peers. Do we want to make any adjustments or changes at this point in time? And so within Decidere, I'm able to create specific processes. One is cyclicals, and the other one is defensives, where I have a heavier weight right now on different criteria that in a cyclical environment, it's looking at strategies that are already in a growth. If we, from a macro view, think the markets are going to be growing, it's going to be focusing on cycles or sectors that are expected to grow over time, right? Then, that's the large cap growth strategies. But then the defensive is going to be focusing on basically three sectors: consumer staples, healthcare, utilities, which is where people, if the markets, if we think the economy is not doing very strong, what strategies are already positioned in those three sectors that will provide them stability in uncertain times? And so you have asset managers that move between the cyclical and defensive rather well. And you have growth strategies that they just stay in the cyclicals, and you have value strategies that just stay in the defensive sectors. And so there are strategies that have done well managing between the two.